Hey everyone, my name is Levi, and about a year ago, I came out with a review video on the Even Realities G1 smart glasses, and that video got quite a bit of attention, a lot more than I thought it would. And this one, I've kind of already got a bit of experience with these, so I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts, and hopefully you guys enjoy. My thoughts are going to be unfiltered. They're going to be straight from my own opinions. They're not going to be biased or anything like that. First and foremost, the build quality on these glasses is second to none. With when it comes to smart glasses, these are still superior. If anything, the G1s are still better than I feel like all the other competitors out right now with in-display smart glasses. And these even blow the G1s out of the water. The actual build quality is so much more improved. So these glasses now have an IP rating, so they're water and dust resistant, which is really, really nice. They advertise saying that you can go out in the rain and it'll be okay. I think that was one of my biggest concerns with the G1s and a lot of other people's too. So I'm glad they addressed that. The stems on the side are all metal now. They don't have any rubber flaps or anything like that that could come undone. Plus, the screen is almost twice as tall and the batteries last 2 days or more. In my testing, I've had more than 2 days. And not only this, but the charging case actually holds enough battery for 7 charges. So you can get theoretically 2 weeks on just one charge of the charging case. You don't need to plug these into a wall or anything for 2 weeks, and you just have full battery every single day. It's so cool. So overall, it's just a massive improvement in build quality. And not only is the hardware improved, but the software is improved too. So the new UI is smooth and fluid, and it's all interactable directly in the glasses. You don't really have to touch your phone for anything to start a feature or to, check off notes or interact anything that you see in the glasses. You can do that in the glasses themselves. It's really, really nice to be able to directly interact without having to use your phone because I feel like that was kind of the whole point with these glasses. You don't want your phone to be in the way. You want the glasses to not interfere with your everyday life and just be kind of a part of that. And to be able to directly just swipe on, the back touch pads instead of having to, clunkily tap like the G1s is just so fluid and nice. I feel like they've done a great job with updating the UI, and that was one of the comments that I made on my G1 video is if they could somehow add more interactivity directly on the glasses without having to touch the app. And they totally nailed it. So when it comes to the capabilities of these glasses, it's about the same as the G1s with some added benefits. So you're going to get the same translate, same teleprompt, same quick notes, same even AI, all of those things are going to be the same, if not improved. So actually for teleprompt and translate, now what you're able to do while it's running is expand the screen so that it is not just the same screen size as the G1s. You can make it the whole like rectangle that you get on the G2s, just make full screen space of what you have available. And it's so nice to be able to read not only more context in the teleprompter, and also for translate, you can see the original language that was spoken above and the translated version below. Whereas with the G1s, you kind of had to look up and see the difference as when you're looking up and down, which can kind of look weird in an average conversation. So being able to see both at the same time is really cool. And it actually helps, I think, even more with language learning. If you're trying to, watch a video, maybe try not to use the subtitles, just read the top text. You can kind of see, like how it directly translates and understand the language a little bit better. So I think that these are all just great improvements. They took what was really good on the G1s and they made it even better. However, there are a couple new improvements on the G2s. So there's a new feature called Conversate. And with Conversate, what you get is essentially subtitles. So it'll hear what both you and another person are saying, or multiple people in a conversation. It'll understand what people are saying in a crowded room with a lot of people talking, or if there's music playing in the background. It's really good at being able to pick up voices. And not only is it subtitles, but it'll give you a little bit of context clues based on what's being said in the conversation. Anyone who's like a historical figure or a celebrity or even people who are just casually mentioned in a conversation, like you just mentioned someone's name, it'll still make a note of who that person is, and then throughout the conversation it'll try to add context to who that is, and you can navigate with in the conversation. You can kind of swipe down or swipe up and down and see all of the notes that it's taken, and you can see them update in real time. It's so brilliant. It's so quick. And I don't know how they've been able to make it so fast in real time. Like it'll come up with tips and, different explanations of things that may seem a little bit obscure just almost instantly as it's being said in real time. It's so impressive. So I think that's my favorite feature on these because you can use it anywhere. All right, now time to talk about the Ring. So, Even Realities, in tandem with the G2 launch, has released a smart ring. And not only is the R1 capable of normal smart ring things like blood oxygen, heart rate, body temperature, etc., but oh, and sleep score. But it's also it also doubles as a touchpad for your glasses. So you can completely control everything in the UI directly on the ring, which in my opinion is miles better than using the touchpad on the back because it's so much more intuitive and it's so much more discreet. Like for example, I could just have my hand in my pocket and I could double tap on the ring like so, and I can scroll up and down. I can, check notifications. I can start Conversate. I can start Translate. I can do all sorts of things without it looking awkward and without me looking up and everything. And because of this, I've actually turned off the capability to turn on the screen by looking up. I feel like that was kind of a distractor when it came to, checking the time or checking notifications. It just seemed like people would look at me funny if I was like looking off in the distance or something and, just kind of spacing out almost. Whereas if I just double tap on the ring, I can still look forward and look normal and I can still interact with everything in my glasses without anyone knowing. And I also want to say the durability and water resistance on the R1 is really, really impressive. It's made of ceramic and it's IP68 water resistant, so you can take it out swimming, you can take it in the shower, you can wash your hands with it. It doesn't matter. I've kept it on pretty much all the time, 24/7, because it also does the sleep tracking. And I mean, it doesn't have a single scratch on it. I've haven't had any issues in functionality. It's been really, really solid, and I can't complain one bit. The latency between controlling swiping on the ring and using the glasses at the same time is next to none. It is going to be a little bit faster to use the touchpad, I've noticed, but the actual latency is still very not very noticeable. And especially in my day-to-day life, I just don't notice it. So it's honestly I can't complain at all. It's so smooth. And the only thing I wish is that sometimes the swipe up and down functionality, especially when my hands are a little bit sweaty or, just after washing my hands, it doesn't read the touch as well as it probably could. And so sometimes if I swipe down, it'll swipe up and then vice versa, or just not register my taps as well as I had hoped. But I mean, I think that's just part of it being a touch sensor. It's going to be the same on your phone or any other touch device, that it's not really going to be able to pick up touches as well if it's kind of wet in a sense. Also, the battery life on the R1s goes for 4 days, which is really impressive. I haven't found that I needed to charge this ring much at all. It's just occasionally I see, oh, it's at around 15%. I should probably plug it in for an hour. And now it's at full. Now it's at full, and I can just use it for another 4 days. It just charges really quick, and I'm really impressed at how long it lasts, especially compared to a smartwatch where you probably need to charge it every 1 to 2 days. And, because it's probably easier to charge overnight, you're not going to get consistent sleep tracking. Whereas with the Ring, you don't even think about it. You just go to sleep. And then once in a while, you just see that it's low battery and just plug it in for a bit. So it's really cool. All right, and one more feature I want to talk about is an upcoming feature. It's not out quite yet, but it will be out very soon, and that's the Even Hub. So essentially, what this is it's going to take the capability of these glasses to the next level. It'll allow developers to make their own custom apps and post them to this interface, this marketplace where people can just download the apps and load them up directly in their glasses. And these can be used for virtually anything that people can think of. And I know for the G1s, this was one of the most requested features for the glasses was just to allow open source development and, allow for people to make their own apps that they can share with others for these glasses because it is such new technology. This is the foundation for what they will be moving forward, and so to allow the user base, the fan base, to create a part of that foundation is probably one of the best decisions that Even Realities has made with these glasses. Not only are they allowing this, but they're facilitating it, and they're essentially helping the developers and the community to make apps a lot easier by allowing for by creating Even Hub. And I can't wait to see what people come out with and what actually might be useful, beyond just the base capability of these classes. For it to be so accessible to, it will just be a game changer. And now the experience with these glasses is not all sunshine and rainbows. I understand that. There are a couple of issues that have come up that have since been fixed for the most part, and some that are still persisting. One issue I was having for a while was Bluetooth disconnecting very frequently. They actually recently fixed this in an update. Sometimes it still happens from here and there, but I mean, it's like once every couple of days that it just disconnects and I really have to just restart my app. Overall, it really is not that big of a deal. And they've been doing a really good job at updating the app and actually fixing the issues that people bring up. Their Discord is very, very active when it comes to bug reports and feature requests and changes and whatnot. And the developers are responding on a daily basis almost to everyone. So if you use these glasses or at least you want some kind of community around these glasses, then I would suggest that you join the Discord. And I'll throw a link up in the description for that Discord. It's really cool. And I suggest that everyone join it just because it's such a great community. And the passion that I see in everyone who's building things or at least, coming up with ideas is really cool to see. I'm so glad that there's a growing community around the G2s and even the G1s, and I can't wait to see how it flourishes and what it turns into. So, overall, I love these glasses. I think they're a brilliant piece of technology, and I think that they could find a valid use for almost anyone's lives on a day-to-day basis. If you travel a lot, you could use Translate. If you do a lot of public speaking, you can use teleprompter. If you talk a lot with people and, you find yourself not knowing everything about a conversation or the context of one, you can use Conversate. There's so many things about these glasses that are really useful, and let alone even AI. Even AI is so smart and it is able to give answers very quickly just on a whim. You don't have to be talking to your phone asking ChatGPT, like what are like, answers to simple questions. You just hold down the touchpad, ask your question, and then you can just read it almost immediately. It's so fluid and convenient. I can't think of a better way to ask AI just simple questions and even follow-up questions. So the price on these is $599 US. You can get this variant or the more rectangular variant for the same price. And then if you also want prescription like I have, it's just another $150 more to get your prescription, which is very, very cheap. If you own prescription glasses, you will know how cheap that is. And frankly, this is about the same price as you would pay without insurance for normal glasses with both the frames and the lenses included. These are honestly a pretty good deal. And for the software support that you get and the community that's backing this and the build quality, it just all adds up to be a really well valued product. And the R1 goes for an extra $250. I would say, it's such a nice convenience to have the ring. It's not necessary. So if you don't feel like you need the extra health benefits or you feel like you're just fine with the touchpads on the glasses themselves, you really don't need it. But it really ties everything together into such a fluid experience that I almost can't imagine these glasses without the ring. That's just my opinion. I really, really like it. And I know a lot of people in their reviews have said that they could go without it. Me personally, I think the ring is imperative. But of course, everyone's opinion's different. But yeah, that's about it for my review. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I will be trying to answer every single one. And who knows? I might just come out with another review in a month or two when more things have come out and my opinions have changed or not. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll maybe see you in the next one. Peace.